Hello, welcome to Hanging with Howie. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize one of our long-term sponsors, DJ Event Planner, djeventplanner.com, and you'll see them down below, along with our other sponsors down below in the comments when this gets published to YouTube and many other sources. Now, let's see, who do we have? I'm going to go left to right now because things kept switching up here when different people come and go. We have the one and only Mr. Jay Brannon with us. And we also have my road dog,
hey,
John Colley.
Cheers.
And we have
way to be prepared, buddy.
Yeah, we have Matt Ames with us.
Hello.
And from Florida, we have Scott with us, Scott Carroll.
Hello. Thank you, Floridian Parole Board.
And
Florida
from
man.
Maryland, most famous for the soft shell crabs that I love so much, Mr. Bill Marsh. Thank you guys for being here. And Jay, you had a topic. What is it?
I was just saying, this will probably air after DJX, which is August 7th to the
10th.
Oh
man, that was a great time, wasn't it?
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I don't remember that thing. Oh boy,
that thing and that.
We can't talk about that thing.
Can't talk about that thing.
7 years.
I do want to say this though, friends. Don't let friends take pictures of friends after midnight. Man up, and you know who you are.
Put the phone in the holster and leave it there till morning. That's it.
Yeah.
Atlantic City is just like Vegas. What happens there shouldn't end up on Facebook. But it's a DJ show. It's called DJX 2023, and it's going to be taking place at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, beautiful Atlantic City on the boardwalk. And it will have a lot of vendors who will be selling gear. And it's a notoriously well-known show for making purchases because it's the end of the season. There are a lot of great deals. I know for a fact that there'll be new equipment there from lots of different sources and manufacturers. So DJs come there with a predetermined amount of money or gear they need. And I'm always curious, when you walk in the door, do you have it in your head, I'm going to buy this? I remember in 2006, going back a little bit, I had it in my head. I wanted LED uplights. And I bought 6 Chave Freedom or Chave Wash 199B RGB lights. And I think the 6 cost me, I want to say it was like $795. That was a show special price.
Right.
And I proceeded to come home and rent them for $40 a light to every event I did moving forward. So they paid themselves off very quickly. But when you go to a show, is there always a piece of gear that you're most likely to get, or you just kind of opened everything? So that was kind of the topic.
All right. You know, that's it. That is a very good topic because I have seen, because I've been, this will be the first one I miss if I can't make it in years, decades. But I noticed that multi-ops on the East Coast will drive in for one day with a trailer.
With a trailer and a van.
With a trailer. And when the, what is it? The SRT 1000 is, when you guys came out with that, I got on an elevator with a guy, with a couple of friends. And the thing, he had a rock and roll cart that was stacked up as high as the handles. He had 10 of them on there. Yeah. And I went, gee, what are you doing with that?
$15,000 he spent.
He said, I'm multi-op. He said, I want all my guys to have the same thing. I was like, holy cow. It's a cash and carry show is what it is.
Yeah, it really is. And that's the attitude. And it's always been that way. This will be my 18th, 19th show in a row. And every year it blows my mind how many people do just, there's 3 DJs from Canada that drive down in a van, different DJs, and they buy up a storm of stuff and then drive it back. And it's always been notoriously like you say, Howie, it's a cash and carry show. And by the way, for those of you out there that are much smarter than me, but still come up to me at every show,
where's the bathroom?
It's a myth. That too.
Yeah.
Didn't I see you at the bar? Yes. But it's a myth that I kind of helped start. And I do say this to people every year, man, really hope we sell this stuff because I do not want to fly this home.
Exactly.
And it's so, when you're throwing it in the dumpster, it's such a pain. And people look at me like, you seriously throw all this stuff away? Absolutely. Yeah, no, we use it once. Throw it away. And I've got guys that'll say like, hey man, I'll give you like $500 for that.
Just tell me what dumpster. Yeah.
For the $1,500 controller. Well, you don't want to fly it home. Yeah. We have accounts that do that for us. Actually, it came here. We're going to send it back. Man, I'll make it easy on you. I'll take just one of them, just one controller that'll wipe out that weight issue and it'll help you out. Thanks, but I'm sorry. I can't. Yeah, people literally, because, and this is a tip, smaller companies, they will blow stuff out the last day.
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
You know, and we've seen it.
Yeah.
Right. Rather than paying an exorbitant amount and shipping it back, it's cheaper to, what's it going to cost me to send it home?
For a smaller company and you're not planning that, big cost. Yeah, why not?
Marquee, before they became a name, did that. I remember that from years ago. They're like, Marquee, who's that? Oh, they must be from China.
KC show, yeah.
Yeah.
But is anyone planning on buying anything? Is there something in your head you're like, if they have a good deal on moving heads, I want to get those or something like that?
I'll lead off on that. You never know what will catch your eye when you're there. You'll see something you didn't expect to see. You go like, can I work that in somehow? Can I sell that? Can I use that? We're just kind of getting back up to speed after, being locked away for a little while. So I've got controllers and lights galore. It's just see something that really catches your eye, something that's the newest chocolate fountain, is how he likes to call them sometimes.
Yeah.
That's not going to outdate itself in 6 months. And here's the 2.0 version of that that's now wireless.
Those tubes.
Yeah, the tube lights are probably going to be
those
hot.
are the new chocolate fountain.
They are.
Matt's got on the wall behind him.
I just don't get the tube lights at all. I just don't get them.
100%.
It's a look.
That is the new chocolate.
That's the modern look, because you can run those solo and you can incorporate that into a bigger light show. And you go with an open mind and you say, well, what do you need? What's essential? Spend the money on that because you have to have that. Then look around and then find the deals and go, well, that's nifty, or that's shiny, and I got to have that. And give me 10.
Matt, you got to take a lava lamp back there.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
All the vibes. That's for my trippy Twitch stream.
I didn't mean to insult your tubes at all, but
they're a beauty, eh?
No, they are. They're getting along just fine, Howie. So I think we're all good.
By the way, Bill, when I only see one, that's when I shut myself off. I can see there's 3 right now, but when it burns into 1, I'm done.
So I won't be making DJX unless there's some miracle scholarship, hotel, airfare, and all of that comes my way. But the thing that's on my mind the most right now, as far as pieces of gear are concerned, is DJ furniture. So, something along the lines of, Danny Mac's boot, Toad Matic. I'm trying to throw out some other brand, Horrorboard, or any of those type companies, Pro X, any of those that make that stuff. So I would likely spend a lot of time looking at that and hopefully catching a show special if I were to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting point. I mean, they have their place as long as you have a trailer. But if you're in places like Boston John, or even it's happened to Jay, I know, and Buddy, it probably happened to you in Chicago. You're in a big city and you got a trailer. You're talking big bucks to park, the truck that's hauling that trailer, and it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Well, so. I can tell you right now, having a Sprinter, it's hard to park.
Yeah.
But, it still has advantages. So there's always one of the things when I look at certain venues or certain events, for a wedding, I have to look at where's parking. But I'm kind of like with Matt. I've been eyeing the Toadmatic booth. I've also been eyeing the LCD panel booth from Revo Spin Smash / Top Lighting USA. They did have it here in Chicago at the Marquee Show. They had a special deal, but here's the uniqueness of it. It did not include a case for the panels, and there's option for casters for the booth to ride on. Now, again, I don't know, according to everything I read, the booth is supposed to be broken down each time, but again, that's the things that didn't come with the booth. That doesn't casters and a case for the panels. So they had a low price on it, but when I found out and talked to them, they're like, "Yeah, it doesn't include this and this and this."
Some accessories sold separately.
You look at some of these deals for, you're having at a show. What does it include? Does it include everything? Does it include, is it a unique piece that doesn't have everything the other stuff does? If I'm John Controller Corporation and John Controller Corporation comes out with a new controller and it has that third wheel in the middle, every other ones doesn't have two, but it has a third wheel in the middle. Does it do everything the other wheels do, or does it do nothing at all, just there for look? Those are the questions you have to look at and ask when you're looking to buy stuff. But again, I'm like Matt. I want to do that next step up, and I like video, so I want to do something with video, and that's the next thing. I'm always looking at the next stage of things, and the video stuff I think is really cool, especially LCD panels all the way around. Looks cool, but there are drawbacks. You have to look before you leap.
Going back to something you said before, it's like, we got a fantastic booth. We spent $1,000 putting all these LEDs in there, but you got to buy wheels. It's like going to buy a car and tires don't come with it. No, every car comes with tires.
Doesn't come with it. Bag doesn't come with it.
Yeah,
power plugs don't come with it. That's all those internet. When you start adding that stuff in, you're actually the same price as advertised on the website or more. Right. Because, they're saying, hey, they're a low price. But again, asking those questions. You're right.
All right. So does anybody else have something to say on this topic? Are you going? How about you, Bill? Are you going? Yes, you're
sir.
Going.
Oh, yeah. I'm going for overtime. I have some speakers for sale right now with the intent that if they sell, and I clear up some cash and some space in the basement, something's coming home with me from DJ Expo, or I'm going to be buying something soon after. Just depends on, the availability and the pricing and all that. But as Jay knows, and everybody else that loves to ridicule me, I am not one in possession of one of those fancy schmancy controller things with all the little colored light pads and all that stuff.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, it's like all the blinkies and all that stuff, and the knobs that you can turn, and the touch screens, and so
old school in the house.
I might end up with one of those things this year, and
I got just the thing for you.
Well, we're going to have to talk because there's something that I've learned.
Here we go. Wheeling and dealing.
Well, no, I'm going to have to talk with you and Pulse about some features and issues. But anyway.
Yeah, be happy to.
It's funny because the last time I went up to the expo with a wad of cash to spend, I went there with the intent of leaving with a pair of RCF Art 745s and a couple of subs. And
then you found Gordon Ramsay's.
Nope. Tuesday morning, although we were at that hotel, Tuesday morning, I sit in DJ Jair's lighting seminar, and it wasn't the lights that caught my eye. It was the Evolve 50 speakers that he was talking through that caught my ear.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I ended up coming home and later buying, I guess that was 2017, but I ended up coming home and in April of 2018 buying a pair of Evolve 50s for what?
Got them. They're awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And never even gave a second thought to I should have gotten those RCFs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those are great speakers,
but
yeah.
But they were more than I needed, and I definitely didn't need to have to worry about the big hunkin' 18-inch subs.
Yeah.
For the jobs I do. It just
learning that the hard way.
Wasn't the right tool for the job for me, and the Vols were. But I also am one where I'll be walking through there, and like last year, Color Key really caught my eye. And I've seen them promoting a moving head wash light that, because I'm not one, when I'm using lights, I don't like, again, because of the weddings and stuff that I do, I don't need, the dance club type lighting, but it would be cool to have some moving head wash lights, I think. That I don't even have to DMX, just put them in pre-program and let them roll. So that might be something else I walk on with.
We'll talk later about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going for the train wreck look.
Well,
only blind grandma occasionally.
Yeah, it's sort of like you're saying, I saw some, needles and some thread, and I thought, I could probably stitch this wound up myself. But sadly, you've got the John Hopkins master surgeon in the room with you tonight, who's like, wait a second, 30 years of doing lighting, this kid's or 40 or 50 years, this kid's going to do it himself. So I think that's the Howie look down upon.
Well, and
I'm not looking down on anybody.
So you're going to do a crappy light show, Bill, is what you're saying.
No. In all honesty, I'm willing to admit I'm not super well versed with DMX. I know I could get lessons from Howie and John.
Yeah, it's what I did.
Howie and Jay.
I have a great show. Thank you, Howie.
But I don't have the inventory either. Yeah. None of the lights I have are wireless DMX, so I'm not going to be sitting there.
They don't need to be.
They don't need to be.
I know.
No, you could buy wireless transmitters at the show for probably $300.
Yeah,
you got an iPad.
But he's talking about moving heads. They're going to be right near your booth, so you could wire them.
You're fine. A 6-foot cable. You're done.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It's
okay. So
you can take 2 lights again. You could take 2 of the Color Key lights. And literally put on enough of a show where you could take the feature. Howie could program it for you that he gave it to me, where I do a white figure 8 and they're right next to me on the table. And on the first dance, it looks like a Hollywood movie premiere. And every time I do it, photographers are like, oh, I love this. And I'm like, yep.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah. It's literally become like, I should change the name of the button to First Dance.
Yeah.
Again, and I think that's at the core of these shows, because I have the delight of being one of you guys, but working.
Yeah.
So I'm as excited as any of you are to go to these shows, if not more so, because I don't get the time, and I know everybody there, but it doesn't change my level of excitement. I don't walk up and, I'm like buddies looking at furniture. Every time I go, I look at facades, I look at furniture. I talk to, Bun, I talk to Danny at Max, and I know these guys well enough to be like, hey, dude, get this. But I have limitations. I don't have a Sprinter. So I'm looking at furniture that way. I look at lighting. I'm very good friends with Color Key, very good friends with Color Key. And I know their whole line, and they've got some great lights. I talk to the JMAS guys. I'm friends with them. So I live in this world with the t-shirt, but then I'm always a DJ.
Right.
First and foremost, I'm a full-time mobile wedding DJ, and I look at things and I talk to you guys and I talk to the show attendees. And if you've ever been in my booth, you know this for a fact. Hey man, how's it going? Have you seen anything you liked? I always ask every person I know. I've asked Bill, John, Howie, everyone that comes in the booth. At some point, I will say to you, hey, have you seen anything that jumped out at you? Have you seen anything new that's cool? Actually, the Roland thing is cool. Or, oh, yeah, did you see this light over here? Did you see that thing over there? Because back when go ahead, Howie.
I think I told you one time, be careful when you go around the corner by your booth, because that bubble machine with the fog inside of it, it's just dripping down right directly on the carpet. And it's, you don't.
And you need to have more than two eyes at these type of shows. And the beauty that I've always loved. My first show was Mobile Beat 1997 at the Tropicana. And I walked in as a director of entertainment with a yacht company doing about $1 million a year with DJs and bands and talent. And I walked in like I was everyone there. We're all in this together. We're all plumbers. We all do plumbing. We love plumbing. We're all DJs. We love music. We're DJs. And the landscape has changed so dramatically. It's changed now. I've got DJs who've done one gig at a high school and they own 20 grand worth of gear because they have a full-time day job. And I see that a lot. I'm using the RCF this, and I've got CDJ 3000s. Oh, where do you play? My house. I did my friend's party for like 30 people. I'm like, so you have like 10 grand worth of gear. Well, I'm an accountant, so I make like $5 million a day. Oh, okay. And sadly, I don't see the same kind of passion. I see people be very critical. They're on, and everyone's a keyboard tough guy online. Like, this is ugly. I'd never own it. Dude, nobody's asked you. That wasn't a floating question. Here's a picture. Oh, that's ugly. I'd never buy that. That was never a posed influence. Like, I never went in and said, who here would buy this? But when you get to these shows, people are so critical. And I'm always sort of like, at the root of this, aren't we all supposed to be in this together? Like, you guys have known me. Some of you have known me a long time. I don't care where you've seen me. And I ask this to the entire world. Find me a moment where you've heard me put down a competitor or another DJ company. And I mean, put them down like they suck. They're no good. I've never said that. Everything in the DJ market is there to better us and our profession and what we do. I don't care who makes it. Well, but if it's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen you all over the country. And when you came in and were on the show with Boston John and I, the first thing you said was, is this the best mic you have, Howie? And I'm like, what?
Well, you gotta cut a corner somewhere.
No, for the gear, you get somebody complaining about gear, you say, this isn't made for you. It's not for everybody. Somebody will appreciate this differently.
Right, but I think that's at the core of it. Like, if you go to these shows, don't ever put yourself in a position above the show. Because I'll tell you a very big secret that sits right in the middle of the show. When you come in and you don't like any of the manufacturers and you blow it off and you decide not to go the next year, this may shock you. But there is a saturation point where the manufacturers start going, this isn't worth coming.
Right.
And as much as the show is for the DJs, the backbone of any show are the vendors.
Exactly.
Because
just like our sponsors down below.
The $199 ticket price is to see us paying what we paid. But we want, I'm the first one to fight for a show. Because I want to be at every show. I love every show. I learn something at every single show. So just come in and talk to the vendors.
Yeah.
Hey, I like this, but have you thought of this? Yeah, I mean, Danny Max, for example. Danny Max is Max. That's him. It's his company. He does all the work. It's him.
That's his name.
Yeah, like he couldn't make it much simpler. You go talk to Gabriel at Pro X. Gabriel owns Pro X. You talk to Gabe at Scrim King. He owns Scrim King. You're talking to the people that either own the companies or have influence. You talk to me at the show. I go over 3 steps and talk to the CEO and president of the company and tell him, that's the third guy to come in here today that asked about this. Let me make a note. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate that. You're getting our ear at these shows. So if you don't really see what you want, let us know. We're not in the world of manufacturing products for people that don't want to buy it. Quite the opposite. And I'll be just like Buddy. First thing I'll look at is furniture. Is there a piece of furniture that will look good, is solid, doesn't really move when I'm on it, but most importantly, can I put it in my Jeep Grand Cherokee?
No.
But hey, it may not fit. You have to get a bigger vehicle. I'm not spending $50,000 to put a $3,000 counter in it.
Right.
Because I can put an Odyssey case for $300 in the back of my Jeep all day.
Sure.
So, I'm always looking at these companies and saying the same thing. How can we come together and figure out a solution to what we're all looking for? But, like Howie, you look at Howie and go, oh, Howie's a sound guy. Howie's a sound genius. Howie's a lighting genius. I mean,
thank you.
But you don't know this till you talk to him. You come talk to me. I'm a mobile wedding DJ. I'm not going to talk to you and say, you have to buy. I'm going to say, have you looked at this? Did you check that out? Like, you'll know the honest from the dishonest. And I have to say, the majority of the people in our industry are honest. They really are. And we're not here. I've, like I said, this is my 18th show in a row, just doing the Atlantic City run. And every year I love it. It's my coast. I'm close to my home. My heart's back there. I love it. And I love having people come in and say, hey man, check out this picture. That's what makes my day. Every DJ that comes up, remember last year I bought the 1,000 off you? Check it out. Here it is, this prom. Check out my lighting. Look at the trussing I did. And people are proud of what they did. Right. And that's infectious. It really is.
Yep.
I love that. And I think
I do too.
We will end on that upbeat, infectious note then.
Did you go to Road Dog? What? Road Dog? Okay.
Yeah, I got a Road Dog for you.
Road Dog?
We missed him.
Did we miss...
Yes,
no. It's just I said I went first. I went
Scott
went first.
Yeah, when Scott figures out the mute button, he'll make the show.
Oh,
yeah.
But that too, like someone
he got it.
Someone that's hesitant on buying a piece of gear, and you're standing next to somebody, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we own 5 of those. Really, I'm thinking about buying one. Oh, they're awesome. We've had them for a year. They're bulletproof. They work. Now you made a sale from a third party endorsement. You won't get that on a website.
I'm looking.
It's a great group.
I don't know.
Get that in.
Digital gobos.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're going to put a fork in this one, and this may or may not come up before Expo, but
Labor Day.
Either way, we'll be back next week. You have something you want to talk about? Leave them down right below in the question area, and please, take a look at our sponsors and so forth. And with that, we're going to be